गाइस, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल इंग्लिश क्लासेस बाय नेहा यादव। तो आज हम यहाँ पर कुछ क्वेश्चन आंसर्स लेकर आए हैं। क्वेश्चन आंसर्स को स्टार्ट करने से पहले हम यहाँ पर देखेंगे जो क्वेश्चन आंसर्स हम यहाँ पर लेकर आए हैं उससे पहले हमने यहाँ पर क्या टॉपिक पढ़ा था, तो ये देखेंगे हम। तो देखिए यहाँ पर ये टॉपिक है हमारा हिस्ट्री ऑफ इंग्लिश लिटरेचर, जो कि हमने डिटेल में डिस्कस किया है ऑलरेडी। तो कुछ फैक्ट्स एंड कुछ मेन इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स हैं एग्ज़ाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से रिलेटेड। तो यहाँ देखिएगा, कुछ मैं शॉर्ट में आपको यहाँ पर थोड़ा सा बता रही हूँ। तो देखिए यहाँ पर द ओल्ड इंग्लिश पीरियड, हिस्ट्री ऑफ इंग्लिश लिटरेचर को हमने क्रोनोलॉजिकल ऑर्डर में देखा था। द ओल्ड इंग्लिश पीरियड, जिसको एंग्लो सैक्सन पीरियड भी कहते हैं, 450 CE से ये 1000 CE तक जो है ये एक्सटेंड होता है। तो यहाँ पर जो है ये कुछ जो है देखिए यहाँ पर जो है ये हिस्ट्री हमने पढ़ी थी एक क्लास में। तो ये कंप्लीट हमने लेक्चर पढ़ा हुआ है, जिसमें हमारे कुछ पीरियड जैसे एंग्लो सैक्सन पीरियड, देन एंग्लो नॉर्मन पीरियड हमने यहाँ पर पढ़ा था। द रेनेसा पीरियड हमने डिटेल में यहाँ पर डिस्कस किया है। कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स, रेनेसा लिटरेरी फॉर्म्स, मेजर रेनेसा राइटर, तो ये कंप्लीट रेनेसा पीरियड हमने यहाँ पर पढ़ा था। उसके बाद हमने यहाँ पे नियो क्लासिकल पीरियड पढ़ा था। नियो क्लासिकल के बाद हमने यहाँ पर रोमांटिक एज पढ़ा। रोमांटिक एज के बाद हमने द विक्टोरियन एज पढ़ा था। तो विक्टोरियन एज के बाद हमने यहाँ पर देखा द मॉडर्न पीरियड। द मॉडर्न पीरियड, और यहाँ पर हमने पोस्ट मॉडर्न पीरियड जो है अलग से पढ़ा है। तो यहाँ पे मॉडर्न पीरियड से रिलेटेड हमारे कुछ जो हमने इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्ट्स करे थे उनसे रिलेटेड हमने कुछ क्वेश्चंस यहाँ पर लिखे हैं। तो वही आज हम यहाँ पर डिस्कस करने वाले हैं। कुछ क्वेश्चन आंसर्स हैं यहाँ पर। तो देखिए क्वेश्चंस हैं यहाँ पर, तो आपको जो है यहाँ पर आंसर देखने हैं, करेक्ट आंसर यहाँ पर आपको देखने हैं। तो चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं। बट स्टार्ट करने से पहले अगर आपको वीडियो पसंद आए तो वीडियो को लाइक ज़रूर करिएगा और चैनल को सब्सक्राइब ज़रूर कर लीजिएगा और वीडियो को एंड तक ज़रूर देखिए। तो जो भी लोग अपनी तैयारी कर रहे हैं लेक्चरर की, यूजीसी नेट की, या फिर अदर कोई भी कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्ज़ाम जो कि इंग्लिश सब्जेक्ट से रिलेटेड है, तो वीडियो को एंड तक ज़रूर देखिए और चैनल को फॉलो करना ना भूलिएगा। तो देखिए यहाँ पर द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन वी हैव इज़ विच वर्क इज़ जनरली regarded as inaugurating literary modernism in English. So we are asking about inaugurating literary modernism in English. So here the answer is option C. The love song of J. Alfred Prufrock is regarded as inaugurating literary modernism in English. The next question we have is T.S. Eliot's concept of objective correlative was introduced in, इसको इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया था हैमलेट एंड हिज प्रॉब्लम्स में। सो दिस इज़ द आंसर। हैमलेट इन एंड हिज प्रॉब्लम्स इज़ एन एसे रिटन बाय टी.एस. इलियट, और इसी ऐसे में इस टर्म को, ऑब्जेक्टिव को रिलेटिव को इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया था। Now the next question we have is Ezra Pound's slogan "Make it new." Ezra Pound's slogan "Make it new" is mostly most closely associated with, किससे associated है? So definitely it is associated with the modern period. Modernism से associate करता है ये term इनका, make it new. So this is the answer. If you know the answer, so please write down your answers in the comment box. Then the next question we have is the phrase mythical method. Mythical method was first used by T.S. Eliot in his essay. अपने कौन से ऐसे में इन्होंने इस मतलब किसको जो है एक तरीके से T.S. Eliot ने अपना जो ऐसे लिखा था वो किस पर लिखा था? तो he had written his essay on James Joyce. तो इन पर इन्होंने जो है ऐसे लिखा था, तो उसमें इन्होंने मिथिकल मैथड टर्म को यूज़ किया था। द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन वी हैव इज़ विच नॉवल इज़ स्ट्रक्चर्ड अराउंड अ सिंगल डे इन डबलिन। सो कौन सी नॉवल है? सो द नॉवल इज़ यूलिसिस। दिस इज़ द नॉवल। Ulysses was written by James Joyce. The novel Ulysses is the landmark of the modern novel, and it chronologizes the events and encounters and wanderings of Leopard Bloom and Stephen Dedalus across the city of Dublin on a single day, June 16, 1904. June 16, 1904. तो यहाँ पर ये जो क्रोनोलॉजी यहाँ पर दिखाई गई है, this is the specific date is now celebrated globally as Bloomsday. So this is the novel which is structured around a single day in Dublin. Okay. The next question we have is only connect. Only connect is a famous epigraphic idea. So this is a famous epigraphic idea of E.M. Foster. So the right answer we have is E.M. Foster. The next question is which of the following is not an imagist poet? Which of the following is not an imagist poet? इनमें से कौन सा इमेजिस्ट पोइट नहीं है? तो देखिए एच डी इज़ इमेजिस्ट पोइट, रिचर्ड एल्डिंगटन इज़ also an imagist poet, Emil Lovell is also an imagist poet, but Dylan Thomas is not the imagist poet, so this will be the answer. Now the next question we have is the subtitle of the Wasteland was inspired by. So subtitle of the Wasteland was inspired by Jesse Weston. Jesse Weston से inspired था ये idea. So the answer is option B, Jesse Weston. And again, I would like to say that if you know the answer, please write down your answers in the comment box and don't forget to subscribe the channel and please like the videos. Next question we have is April is the cruelest month appear in. April is the cruelest month which appears in. It is a very popular poem written by T.S. Eliot and it appears in The Wasteland. Okay, The Wasteland में ये आती है, opening line है इसकी. Okay. The next question we have is the term stream of consciousness technique was influenced by the psychology of. So the stream of consciousness technique was influenced by the psychology of William James. William James used this technique for the very first time. The next question we have is question number 11. Which novel ends with Molly Bloom's famous soliloquy? So the novel which ends with with Molly Bloom's famous soliloquy is that is Ulysses. Ulysses. This novel this novel ends with Molly Bloom's famous soliloquy. Then next question we have is which critic coined the term dissociation of sensibility? So dissociation of sensibility is related to T.S. Eliot. Dissociation of sensibility is related to T.S. Eliot. So this is the answer. Dissociation of sensibility. Now the next question we have is the Golden Bough was written by. Who wrote the Golden Bough? So Golden Bough was written by James Fraser. This was written by James Fraser. The next question we have is which work by Virginia Woolf is considered a feminist classic? So which work? So the work written by Virginia Woolf is A Room of One's Own, and this is a very famous work written by Virginia Woolf and it is considered as a feminist classic. The next question we have is who introduced the theory of epiphany into fiction? So epiphany into fiction was introduced by James Joyce. This was introduced by James Joyce in that is epiphany. The next question is which modernist poet received the Nobel Prize in 1923? So here we have the very popular poet, and the name of the poet is W.B. Yeats. W.B. Yeats. So W.B. Yeats received the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1923. The next question is Heart of Darkness. Heart of Darkness is primarily set in, तो इसकी सेटिंग रखी गई है इस नॉवल की सेटिंग रखी गई है हार्ट ऑफ डार्कनेस की अफ्रीका में. सो द नॉवल वाज सेट इन अफ्रीका. द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज which modernist which modernist novelist wrote Knighthood. Knighthood was written by Juna Barnes. Juna Barnes wrote Knighthood. Let's move on to the next question. So the next question we have is the Bloomsbury group included. So the Bloomsbury group included T.S. Eliot, T.S. Eliot, Virginia Woolf, Ezra Pound and W.B. Yeats. इनमें से कौन सा include है? So Bloomsbury group is included Virginia Woolf. It is associated with Virginia Woolf as well. The next question we have is which of the following is not written by D.H. Lawrence. इनमें से D.H. Lawrence के द्वारा कौन सी बुक नहीं लिखी गई है? So let's see. इसमें से The Rainbow was written by D.H. Lawrence. Women in Love was written by D.H. Lawrence. Sons and Lovers was also, but the Passage to India was not written by D.H. Lawrence because this book was written by E.M. Foster. This is the book of E.M. Foster. That's why the right answer will be A Passage to India. It was not written by D.H. Lawrence. The next question we have is in my beginning is my end. In my beginning is my end. This line appears in a very famous poem written by T.S. Eliot, that is East Cocker. The next question we have is which modern dramatist is famous for drama of ideas? So as we know that George Bernard Shaw is popular and famous for drama of ideas. Let's move on to the next question. The next question is which work by Joseph Conrad explores imperialism through Marlowe's narration? So, Heart of Darkness. It is a work by Joseph Conrad which explores imperialism through Marlowe's narration. So the right answer we have is Heart of Darkness. The next question is the publication year 1922 is significant because it is a very significant year because at that time Ulysses and the Wasteland were published. ये दोनों ही वर्क्स जो है इस समय पर पब्लिश हुए थे. यूलिसेस एंड द वेस्टलैंड both were published in 1922. That's why this year is very popular and this year is significant as per the literature. Then next question we have is which of the following poets is not generally classified as a war poet? So which among the following poets is not considered as the war poet? So let's see, if we talk about Wilfred Owen, so he is classified as the war poet, and Siegfried Sassoon, he is also considered as a war poet. Rupert Brooke also considered as the war poet, but Philip Larkin is not classified as a war poet. So the right answer we have is Philip Larkin. Okay, so these were some most important questions related to modern period. So if you like the video, please don't forget to subscribe the channel, and thank you for watching, guys. See you in the next video. Till then, keep revising and keep in touch with these question answer series. सो थैंक यू एवरीवन, गुड नाइट.